Some mornings, you may stand up from bed and feel a wobble you don't remember having before. A small hesitation in your legs, a sense that your balance isn't quite as reliable as it used to be. Maybe you grip the counter for support, or pause before taking that first step, hoping everything catches up. For many adults over 60, these moments feel confusing, even a little frustrating. But here's something most people never hear. This isn't your fault. And it isn't a sign that your body is breaking down. According to research from institutions like Harvard and the National Institute on Aging, many of the changes in steadiness, leg power, and balance come from a hidden cause almost no one talks about. A small network of stabilizing muscles and neural pathways that quietly weaken when modern life stops asking them to work. Not because you did anything wrong, but simply because daily life no longer challenges these deeper systems. The surprising truth? These systems can wake back up faster than you think. And often it begins with one simple ancient Japanese exercise, practiced for centuries to cultivate balance, grounded strength, and calm focus. This exercise doesn't require equipment. You don't need flexibility. You don't need experience. Just a few quiet minutes in the morning, right where you stand. And day by day, it retrains the body to feel steady again. It reconnects muscles that have been asleep, restores the brain-body pathways that keep you upright, and begins rebuilding strength from the ground up. In today's video, I'll guide you through that movement step by step. It's gentle, it's safe, and according to new research on neuromuscular activation, it may be one of the fastest ways for older adults to regain control, confidence, and natural balance. But before we begin, I'd love to know who's joining us today. Drop your name and where you're watching from in the comments. We have an incredible community here. People in their 60s, 70s, and beyond who are choosing strength, choosing resilience, and choosing to rise. Let's begin this journey together. The ancient Japanese morning exercise. Before we begin the movement itself, picture a moment you may have felt before. You're walking across a parking lot. The ground is a little uneven. You take a step, and suddenly your ankle wobbles. Just a tiny shift. Nothing dangerous. Just enough to remind you that balance can change quietly, without warning. That small wobble isn't weakness. It isn't age taking over. It's your body whispering that the foundation beneath you needs attention. And that is exactly what this ancient Japanese exercise is designed to restore. Often taught in traditional martial arts schools, this grounding practice reconnects every joint, muscle, and neural pathway that keeps you steady. It's known as the rooted stand, and it rebuilds stability from the ground up. Here's the truth most people never hear. Walking alone doesn't train the deep stabilizers that protect your balance. The Mayo Clinic notes that as we age, we can lose up to 30% of the muscle fibers responsible for joint control, especially in the feet, ankles, and hips. These muscles don't just weaken, they fall asleep. And when they do, the nerves that wake them begin firing more slowly. Signals to the brain become faint, and your internal sense of where you are in space, your proprioception, starts to fade. But the rooted stand turns that system back on. Just as ancient practitioners trained their bodies to remain unshakable in stillness, this exercise reawakens the deeper layers of strength modern life rarely uses. To begin, stand tall with your feet about hip-width apart. Let your knees soften, never locked. Spread your toes slightly, sensing the floor beneath 3 points of each foot, the heel, the base of the big toe, and the base of the little toe. Imagine for a moment roots growing downward from your feet, anchoring you into the earth. Now shift your weight forward slowly, then back. Only an inch or two. Move as if you're drawing the smallest, quietest circle possible beneath you. Keep your breath calm. Feel the tiny muscles in your feet, ankles, and hips quietly activating, muscles that may not have truly woken up in years. Continue tracing that slow circle for 30 to 45 seconds, then gently reverse the direction. When you finish, settle into stillness. Notice how grounded your body feels. Notice how the floor feels closer, steadier, more familiar beneath you. This simple movement activates the intrinsic muscles of the feet, what Harvard researchers describe as essential for stability. It wakes up the peroneals and tibialis muscles around the ankles, the glute medius that keeps the hips from wobbling, the deep core that supports upright posture, and the proprioceptive network, your body's internal GPS, As we grow older, this entire system becomes quieter. This exercise turns the volume back up. Even 1 minute a day begins to strengthen the pathways that help you stay steady on curbs, uneven ground, or when rising from a chair. Strength machines can't do this. Walking can't do this, but this little circle can. If you use a cane, walker, or have severe neuropathy, perform this near a counter or sturdy chair. And if you tend to feel dizzy, keep your movement extremely small and slow. Every moment you practice the rooted stand, you are not just exercising, you are rebuilding the foundation that carries you through the world. You are waking muscles that have been quiet. You are reminding your body that it is still capable, still adaptable, still yours to shape. You are not falling behind, you are rising. The slow knee raise, where control meets strength. Now that we've awakened the foundation beneath you, it's time to bring that stability upward into the legs, hips, and the deeper balance centers of the brain. And to do that, we turn to a simple but powerful movement practiced in both Japanese longevity traditions and modern fall prevention programs, the slow knee raise. Before we begin, let me take you into a familiar moment. Maybe you've stepped onto a bus or climbed a stair and felt your leg lag just a second behind your intention. Or perhaps you've lifted your foot to enter the bathtub and noticed it feels heavier than it used to, not weak, just slower, less responsive. That small hesitation can feel unsettling. But again, it isn't your fault, and it isn't a sign of decline. It's a sign that the communication between your brain and your legs needs a gentle reset. The slow knee raise gives your body exactly that. It strengthens the muscles that lift your legs, trains balance on one leg, and reactivates the neural pathways responsible for quick reactions and stable steps. Here's how to begin. Stand tall beside a wall or counter, something you can use for light support if needed. Shift your weight into your left foot, keeping your knee soft, not locked. Then, as slowly as you can, begin lifting your right knee upward. Move with the pace of breath. 3, 4, 5 seconds to lift. Pause gently at the top, then lower your foot back to the floor with the same slow control. The movement doesn't need to be high, just a few inches. What matters is the slowness, the control, because that's what retrains strength and balance at the same time. Repeat this 5 to 8 times on each side, moving like you're lifting through water, not air. Now let's talk about why this matters so deeply. As we age, the hip flexors, the muscles that lift your legs, tend to weaken from long periods of sitting. The National Institute on Aging notes that these muscles play a key role in preventing falls, especially when stepping over obstacles. The glute medius on the standing leg also activates strongly during this movement, working to steady the hips and keep your body from tilting. But perhaps the most important part isn't the muscle strength at all. It's the neural activation. Slow, controlled movements force the brain to re-engage the pathways that manage timing, control, and balance. Harvard researchers call these motor planning circuits. When they slow down, we hesitate. But when we train them, even gently, reaction time improves. Coordination improves. Confidence improves. And here's something powerful. When you lift one leg, your entire body reacts. Your core tightens. Your standing ankle makes tiny adjustments. Your spine aligns. The brain becomes fully alert to your position in space. This is why slow, mindful lifting can be far more beneficial than rushing through traditional leg exercises. If you have trouble balancing on one leg, keep both hands lightly resting on a counter or chair. If you've had recent hip surgery, move with a smaller range and avoid forcing the lift. Every slow repetition is a message to your body. I am rebuilding control. I am restoring responsiveness. I am reclaiming strength. This movement isn't about lifting your leg. It's about lifting your confidence. It's about telling your body to stay awake, stay present, and stay capable. You're not fragile. You're training a system that simply needed attention. You're stepping back into power. The heel-to-toe glide, reawakening your inner stability line. Now that your foundation is awake and your legs are responding with more control, it's time to connect everything together. This next movement is simple, quiet, and deeply powerful. In Japan, it's often taught in early morning wellness practices to restore posture, balance, and centered walking. It's called the heel-to-toe glide, a slow, intentional version of the natural walking pattern that strengthens the entire stability line of the body. Before we begin, let's revisit a moment you may know well. You're walking through your home, maybe carrying a cup of tea or heading toward the door. As you turn, your foot catches slightly on the floor, your balance shifts, and for a split second, you feel that jolt of uncertainty. Nothing happens. You recover. But the moment stays with you. That tiny misstep isn't clumsiness. It isn't a sign of losing ability. It's simply your body reminding you that the muscles and nerves responsible for smooth, coordinated steps need a bit more attention. The heel-to-toe glide gives them exactly that. To begin, stand tall beside a counter or the back of a sturdy chair. Bring your left foot forward and place your heel on the ground first, slowly rolling through the foot until your toes make contact. Then bring your right foot forward in the same way. Heel first, then the ball of the foot, then the toes. Move slowly. You're not walking, you're gliding. Imagine you're balancing on a thin line painted on the floor. Each step is quiet, intentional, almost meditative. Now take 4 or 5 slow steps forward. Pause. Then glide back the same way, placing your toes down first as you move in reverse, then rolling through to the heel. Let your arms relax. Let your breath guide the rhythm. Feel the ground beneath you, not as something to fear, but something to meet with confidence. This movement seems almost too simple, but the science behind it is profound. The heel-to-toe glide strengthens the anterior tibialis, the muscle that lifts the foot and prevents tripping. It activates the calves, the arches of the feet, and the stabilizing muscles around the knees and hips. It even engages the core as your body works to stay aligned with each slow step. But perhaps the biggest benefit happens in the nervous system. Cleveland Clinic researchers have shown that slow, controlled walking patterns significantly improve proprioception, the body's ability to sense where it is in space. This awareness is often one of the first things to decline with age, and one of the most important factors in preventing falls. Each glide is like a neural reset. Each step teaches your brain and body to communicate more clearly. Each moment of slow contact with the ground reminds your nervous system, I know where I am stable, I am in control. If you have neuropathy, use light support from a counter or wall and take smaller steps. If you've recently had knee or hip replacements, glide gently and avoid forcing a long stride. The goal isn't length, it's quality. Every step you take in this exercise is a step towards smoother walking, stronger ankles, and a more confident daily stride. This movement isn't about taking steps. It's about reclaiming the way you move through the world. With every glide, you're retraining your body to be fluid, grounded, and responsive. Qualities that never disappear. They simply need an invitation to return. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're not practicing balance. You're practicing freedom. The Japanese breath step, awakening calm strength. Now that your feet, ankles, and hips are awake, now that your stride feels smoother and your body more connected, we finish with a movement that pulls everything together. In Japanese wellness traditions, there is a saying, strength without calm is unsteady. Calm without strength is incomplete. This final exercise is where calm meets strength. It's called the breath step, a slow mindful shift that blends gentle movement with deep breathing. It recenters your balance, lowers tension in the nervous system, and teaches the body to stay steady even when shifting weight from one leg to the other. The very skill most linked to fall prevention. Before we begin, I want you to think of a small moment that might feel familiar. You're carrying groceries, or stepping out of the car, or reaching to pick something up. As you shift your weight, there's a small wobble. Just a second where your balance doesn't feel fully yours. It's not a failure. It's not a sign that you're losing it. It's simply your body telling you that calm and control need to reconnect. That's exactly what this breath step restores. To begin, stand tall with your feet under your hips. Let your shoulders soften. Place one hand lightly on your lower abdomen, right below the navel. This helps you connect with your center of gravity, known in Japanese traditions as the hara. Now take a slow breath in, letting your abdomen gently expand beneath your hand. As you breathe out, shift your weight into your left foot while your right foot steps forward just an inch, barely a movement. As you breathe in again, return your foot to the starting position, then switch sides. Inhale, step back to center. Exhale, shift and step forward the other direction. Move slowly. Move with breath. Feel each step begin from your center, not your legs. This movement teaches your body that shifting weight doesn't have to feel uncertain or rushed. It rebuilds trust in your footing. It calms the nervous system and trains balance at the exact moment most adults struggle with, moving from one leg to the other. Now let's look at why this movement is so effective. When you shift weight and step with control, you activate the deep abdominal stabilizers, the transverse abdominis, along with the glute medius and small rotator muscles around the hips. These are the muscles responsible for keeping your spine aligned and your pelvis steady. Harvard School of Public Health notes that slow weight shifting drills significantly improve neuromuscular control in adults over 60. This means your brain becomes better at predicting and adjusting to movement instead of reacting late. But perhaps the most transformative part is the breath. Breathing slowly while moving activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body responsible for relaxation, clarity, and steadiness. When this system is engaged, your balance naturally improves. Your muscles respond better. Your steps feel smoother. If you experience dizziness sometimes, keep your steps very small and use a counter for support. If you have lower back issues, focus on slow weight shifting rather than lifting the foot too far. What matters most is connection, your breath guiding your movement guiding your balance. With each breath step, you're training your body to remain calm and grounded even when shifting, turning, or moving through daily life. You're reminding your nervous system that you are steady. You're teaching your muscles that you are capable. You're showing your body that control is returning. Not because you're pushing harder, but because you're moving with intention. This isn't about exercise. It's about reconnecting with a part of yourself that never left. It only needed to be awakened. Conclusion, cinematic closing. Take a moment and notice how you feel right now. Your body may feel a little warmer, a little more awake, your steps a little more grounded, your breath a little deeper. What you just practiced wasn't a workout. It wasn't a routine. It was a quiet reclamation. Because this journey, this path back to strength and balance, is not about becoming someone new. It's about returning to the capability that has always lived within you. And here's the truth I want you to carry with you. This isn't fitness. This is your independence. Every time you wake those deep stabilizing muscles, every time you reclaim a smooth step, every time you choose slow, intentional control, you are rewriting the story of aging. You are not too old. You are not behind. You're simply undertrained. And now you're changing that. Your body is far more adaptable than you've been led to believe. Nerves can reconnect. Muscles can strengthen. Balance can return. Confidence can grow. Not through force, but through consistency. Just a few minutes each morning, these simple movements practiced with presence build a foundation that supports you in every moment of your life. Stepping off a curb, climbing stairs, turning in the kitchen, getting out of bed with trust instead of hesitation. You don't need perfection. You don't need speed. You don't need long workouts or special equipment. You only need commitment. A quiet, steady promise to yourself. I will show up. I will move with intention. I will rise. Because you are not here to fade quietly into the background of your own life. You are here to stand tall, strong, steady in every season of your years. If you felt even a small shift today, in your balance, your breath, or your confidence, take a moment and let this community know. Comment below, I'm getting stronger. Let those words be your declaration to yourself and to everyone walking this journey with you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing strength. Thank you for choosing yourself. This is only the beginning. You are rising.